Hola amiga, and welcome back to the Latina Leadership Podcast, the podcast for Latinas by Latinas, where every week we have real conversations about the issues and topics that matter most to our community. Topics like education, health and wellness, entrepreneurship, pay equity, and so much more. Get comfortable. We're bringing you another inspiring episode starting right now. Enjoy the show.
Hola amigas, welcome back to a new episode of the Latina Leadership Podcast. I'm Gracie. I'm so excited to be here today because this episode will be a little different than our others. In this one, it'll be a wrap-up episode where we go back in time this year and really go over our wins, our accomplishments, how our events went. We launched our nonprofit. So grab your coffee and tune in because we're going to dive right in. To really dive into our wrap-up episode, we are going to highlight some episodes that we've had this year. So the first one I'm going to highlight is Election Day with Kate del Castillo. And this one was very special and different as it was a live chat with Kate that Angelica had. And they chatted about the importance of voting and going out there. And this was for the 2024 presidential election. And just how every voice matters. And if someone is scared out there or doesn't really know if their vote even matters in this election, it does, and it did. And we saw the results, and just they really went over women's rights and how important it is as a woman to go out there and vote. This would have been the first woman president, and that just changes history. This conversation was a powerful reminder of going out there and driving change and taking charge. Like, we see it and we feel it, and it really does make a difference in our communities and the future of all Latinas.
You know, it's a very divided moment in the history of this. I think not only in this country, but also in Mexico and the entire world. I think we are very divided right now. So I think saying what we think, respecting what others think, I think that's the key. But we should never stop elevating our voice, you know, and using our right to vote. So let's go out there and vote.
Something that really stuck out to me in this chat with Kate is when her and Angelica talked about the importance of having, women in leadership positions, women to look up to, in different careers. I know for me, something that really sticks out to me is when a woman is a CEO or is in charge of their own agency, or it would have been the first woman president in the U.S. And young Latinas and young, girls can look up to these women and be like, that can be me one day. I can do that.
Estoy obligada to say what I really think it's right. Because I know there's a lot of people following me, and I know I can be the voice for all of them. So I'm not saying I'm right in everything. I'm not saying you have to think the way I do, but at least I try to be congruent with what I think and what I say and how I act.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. When you're a kid, you just want to be those jobs where, I probably wouldn't get there today unless I really, really wanted to. But, something is I would look into women astronauts and I was like, that's so cool. Like, I can do that one day. I can be there in space, and it's easy because she did it, so I can do it. So I think that's really what we missed out on with this presidential election results. I think, we're really missing out there, and it could have been the first woman president. But aside from that, just having women in leadership positions is so important, and we're still not all the way there where women are taken, seriously in leadership positions. I know I've heard some stories of, women being pushed down or not being taken seriously because they're just a woman. And I think we have a long way to go, and I'm very proud of where we're at right now, though. And this chat just meant a lot to me in those areas of just seeing women in leadership, and we will get there one day. We will get there one day. So speaking of empowering young Latinas, I also want to highlight another episode. This one was with Gabriela Kane Guardia, and she is the executive director of Latinitas, and this is a nonprofit organization. Latinitas offers these young girls mentorship and skill learning that really will help them in their future and just help them find more opportunities than they might not have had before.
We have a mission to empower all girls to innovate through media and technology. We do this by offering opportunities for our students to engage with informal STEM learning experiences. So we host after-school clubs, we have summer camp, we have one-day conferences, and we have online coding classes for our girls.
So something that really felt special about this episode to me was that Latinitas started based on wanting more representation in different areas, different roles, specifically technology and media and STEM. And I think that's very important because I know for me, I've been seeing more Latinas in, big roles like that. And even though we're underrepresented, we still have that growth, and we've seen that growth, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the future of that.
We are always looking for folks to support us in a number of ways, whether it's volunteering at our conferences or volunteering with our students after school, during summer camp. That one-on-one time with our students is a really meaningful way to get involved. I actually started with the organization as a volunteer myself and fell in love with the mission. So it's very easy to get involved with us in that way.
And I think it's very important for, young girls or just young students in general to get that experience, to get that chat with someone who actually is in the role. And I think that's very, very special. So as someone who's a reader and really loves, discovering new books, another episode that really stuck out to me was the episode with Celeste Gomez, and she is the author of the book Besos, and this is a poetry book. It's about, navigating grief and growing up and the struggles of feeling alone and abandonment.
I think it's because, to be honest with myself and to give that little girl inside the healing that she deserved, because I held so many things back for such a long time, and I was shy for such a long time. So I just wanted to just be honest and to see, if whatever happens, and that's kind of the approach I went with it. And since writing, especially in my college years, it helped me so much. I just was like, I have nothing to lose by being just honest and authentic.
Everyone has their journey, and everyone has their struggles within their journey that made them who they are today. And I think that's very special that she decided to write that down and share it with the world and let it help other people who might be in the same position that she was, or might be in a similar position, and feel alone and feel like, oh, nobody gets me, nobody understands me. And reading this book, people can be like, Celeste gets it. Like, this is me. And seeing her healing process, it could help them heal as well. And I think that's very inspiring. The Latina Leadership Podcast posted a photo carousel on social media, and there was a bunch of Latina author books, and fully written by Latina authors. And there was books in fantasy. There was books, I think, in teen or young adult. And there was also poetry, and we added Besos on there. Okay, something huge happened this year, and I can't forget to bring it up because this was very important to us at the Latina Leadership Podcast and Angelica, our host. And this was launching our nonprofit, which is the Amigas, Latinas and Friends Network. And this nonprofit was, Angelica started this with the goal of helping underserved and underrepresented and under-resourced women in all areas. And something very special that we've been doing with this nonprofit so far is our Latina Entrepreneurship Conference. And we've also been helping the young girls at the program Dreamweavers, which is under AMA. And this is a program designed for girls who have, dreams and aspirations in the entrepreneurship field. And I think this is very, very inspiring. And when I visited the first time, I was very surprised because these girls are so young as 17, 16, and they already know what they want to do. They already have their businesses made even. I know one girl had a nail business. Another girl wants to do a hair business. Or I even tried a brownie that one of the girls made. She has her little bakery sales. I think it's very inspiring because at that age, I did not know what I wanted to do, and I especially was not an entrepreneur. But going back to this nonprofit, the Amigas, Latinas and Friends Network. So this nonprofit will be focusing on entrepreneurship and education, which is why this nonprofit will be involved in our entrepreneurship conference and our education events. And we are so excited that it came out this year, and we're so excited to announce it to everyone. And we've done very special things with really mentoring those ALMA students, the Dreamweavers. First of all, mentoring, just really providing these resources to these communities that may not have these kinds of resources. So now that we talked about Amigas, Latinas, and Friends, this organization will be presenting the Latina Entrepreneurship Conference, which is the first event that I attended as being part of the Latina Leadership Podcast, and it was just mind-blowing. That day was so special. It was hectic, but it was special. This annual Entrepreneurship Conference 2024, we had it in Houston, Texas, and from our first conference to now, we've had over 500 non-Latinas and Latinas attend our conference, both online and in person. It's going to be even bigger next year, so make sure to sign up when you see that it's coming back. And I forgot to mention that this was a free event, so don't miss out on free learning, free networking, free food, because there was really good food, and free just talking about your own business and what you're doing, and meet someone who might, give you connections to help you grow. And we have one in 2025 coming up, so get ready, get excited, because this one's gonna be bigger. We get bigger and better every year. Another amazing event that we hosted this year was our Latinas and Education Event, and we hosted this at the Houston Community College Southeast Campus. I went to community college, but after that I was like, I don't know what I want to do with this. I went for nursing, and I slowly found out that was not for me. Kudos to everyone who does nursing, because that's just a very hard job, but it's very inspiring. And anyways, going back, going to Starbucks, they have a program where you can get free college, okay? You can work for free, basically. You can go to college for free. And it's all online, which I know if you want your college experience in person, this isn't right for you. But if you're okay with online, it's a free program, and you basically you have to work at Starbucks. As long as you're working, you get free schooling. And I got a degree from that, and now look where I'm at. So furthering your education is important. And I know, I have people in my life, like my mom, who didn't get to finish her schooling because of certain things in the way, and she wishes that she did. And this event is for people like you who are looking to do that. Just that. This event is for everyone who just simply wants to learn about education, furthering your education, and things like that. So our Amigas, Latinas, and Friends Network will also be presenting this event. So be on the lookout, because it's coming soon. It'll be big, and it's very important to join if you want to learn more about education and your career path. So another event that we host, and that I'm very excited to attend this year because it'll be very special to me, is the Mind, Body, and Latina Soul event. And this event was all about understanding your mental health, understanding your feelings. It had a lot of calming moments. It had yoga, it had dancing, it had just moments of silence to really reflect, think, calm down. And I think that's very special to bring to our community. Sometimes it's hard to open up our community with mental health topics. And I think that's something that the Latina Leadership Podcast feels very passionate about, is understanding mental health and really being there for others who are maybe down in their mental health. Maybe they're struggling. They don't know what to do. They don't have anybody there for them. And I think I know this event is for that. And we are having one in 2025, so get ready for that too. Get ready for all of our events. Come to all of them. One of our other events that we have throughout the year is our Latina Equal Pay Day dinner. And this dinner is for uplifting, empowering, and inspiring all of the above Latinas. And that we deserve, telling the world that we deserve equal pay. I hope you enjoyed our special 2024 Latina Leadership Podcast wrap episode. And I wish I could include every episode that we had this year and every special moment that we had this year, because we've had many special moments. We had a lot of growth, a lot of exciting new things come. And Angelica and the Latina Leadership Podcast, we have amazing things coming this 2025. So be on the lookout, get ready, get excited. We're always looking for mentors, speakers, volunteers for our events. So look out for that as well when we announce the event. And we also have video essays coming out. So that's exciting news. We have our folic acid video essay out already. I'll link that below as well. I hope you have an amazing week. Thank you for joining me today, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you for joining us on the Latina Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your amigas, comadres, hermanas, your mom, your tias, or anyone who you think would enjoy the conversation. The Latina Leadership Podcast is a weekly video and audio podcast since 2020. Visit our online Latina Leaders Directory, join our growing community of Latina changemakers, keep up with our calendar of events, or reach out to us if you're interested in supporting the Latina Leadership Podcast by visiting our website at latinaleadershippodcast.com. And with that, we'll see you next time.